سرود رینوا توجه و عنایت بفرمایید با ذکر صلواتی قرا بر محمد و آل محمد.
سلام بر دل پرخون مسجد الاقصی، به مسجدی که خداوند گفت بارک داد. سلام ما به تو و دست‌های بسته شده، سلام ما به تو ای حرمت شکسته شده. اگرچه شعله به ما کرده فتن هر طرفی، اگرچه تفرقه در هر کنار بسته سفید، اگرچه گفت به نیرنگ و جنگ بسته کمر، اگرچه تکبیر از پشت میزند خنجر. نمازه ایم ز خاطر نمی تو را ای قدس، تویی هنوز تویی آرمان ما ای قدس. ببین که در غم تو لحظه ای نیاسودیم.
The death toll continues to rise in the conflict between Israel and Hamas militants. Overnight, a bomb from an Israeli air raid struck a residential building in Gaza, killing at least 10 people, including children. It's the deadliest single strike so far in this most recent conflict. Meanwhile, Hamas militants launched hundreds of rockets towards Israel, some hitting residential areas. At least 139 people have been killed in Gaza since Monday, while in Israel at least 7 people have died. The conflict has now also spread to the larger Palestinian territory, the West Bank.
In an instant, a 6-story building is reduced to rubble. All throughout the day and into the night, explosions reverberated through Gaza City as Israel intensified its onslaught against Hamas. As the conflict escalates, hour by hour, Gazans are fleeing their homes with whatever they can carry. Some have come to this school run by the UN in search of a safe place. We were planning to leave during the night, but drones and jets kept bombing us. At dawn, we started moving and ran to the schools. Our children were screaming. They wanted to get away. When we woke up, we found everything behind us destroyed. There's nothing left. And many Israelis, too, are living in fear. Just north of Gaza, the city of Ashkelon has been hit repeatedly by Hamas rockets. It has been very stressful, but we're following the government's instructions. We have faith in the army and our creator. Gaza is not Israel's only front in an intensifying conflict. In the West Bank, tensions hit new highs as Palestinians exchanged rocks and gunfire with Israeli soldiers. For the first time this week, Palestinians died in numbers on the streets of the territory. The United States has sent a diplomat to try and broker a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. But as flames and fighting spread across the Holy Land, peace seems like a distant prospect.
I'm joined now by journalist Hazem Balusha in Gaza City. Hazem, thanks for joining us. I understand you didn't get much sleep last night because of those bombardments. What's the situation like there in Gaza this morning?
Today is the 6th day of the confrontation, or if you want to call it a war. The ongoing of bombardment overnight in the morning. More people left their houses, especially from the border areas in the north and the east, and went to the UNRWA schools where they to shelter. UNRWA announced that they opened some of the schools for those people to stay in. The bombardment of a house overnight in the Shati refugee camp west of Gaza City, where at least 10 people were killed. Most of them were kids, and still, like the anger among the Palestinians, and some rockets are launched from Gaza toward the Israeli cities.
When you talk to people on the ground there, do you get the sense that there's continued support for Hamas in the face of the heavy civilian price?
Well, as the ongoing of the Israeli strikes and more victims on the ground, there is like a huge anger among Palestinians, and they ask for revenge. But still, in the same time, people are seeking and asking and wondering about when the ceasefire will be restored and when the life will return to the regular time. So we are talking about like dividing. Yeah, we are talking about the divide among the Palestinians. Some are asking for the continuance of this confrontation, and some asking for, for ceasefire and getting calm.
How are people coping with the bombardments? It must be terrifying. Is there a huge amount of fear in the city?
Definitely, it's terrifying. It's the least word that could be said. If you talk to the people on the ground, if you watch the social media platforms, always talking about the fear, especially among kids and women, and even men. Men are talking about that they fear the strikes, and they're trying to calm down their kids and their children. It's not easy time. War is like it's horrible everywhere. In Gaza, experienced many confrontations and many wars before. Within the 10 years, we are talking about 4 wars. It's not easy to cope with that. Definitely, kids are traumatized. Afterwards, when all of this over, many reports and many issues will be raised up. About the trauma and the effect of this, strikes and ongoing confrontation.
And you speak about exactly that, the ongoing conflict in this region. How does this conflict that's flared up this time compare with more other recent conflicts in the area?
Well, if we compare it with 2014 war, I mean, still we are in the 6th day. 2014 lasted for 50 days at least. This time is very intense. We are talking about like intense bombardment, and it's the same way of how Israeli army targeted targets across the Gaza Strip. I can't compare. If we talk about the numbers, still we are less than the previous war, but it is, if we continued as that, I think the number might be up and more than the previous times.
All right, journalist Hazem Balusha speaking to us from Gaza City. Many thanks for the analysis.
Well.
مدينة القدس بالأعيرة المطاطية وبالمياه العادمة. طبعا المياه العادمة مش فقط انه بتعطي ريحة كريهة، المياه العادمة تقوم بتلتصق بالسيارة، تصير السيارة تبطل قادرة تؤدي خدمتها، وفي عنا 3 سيارات اضطروا ينزلوا من الخدمة لأنه صار في عنا هناك خلل في المحركات والنظام الكهربائي جواتها من جراء دخول هذه المياه العادمة على منطقة المحرك، وتم إرسالها للتصليح. كان في هناك تسجلت عمليات منع للوصول إلى مصابين ومناطق المواجهات. احنا الآن في حي الشيخ جراح، لو كان في هناك بلاغ على وجود إصابة فالحواجز المحيطة في الحي بتقوم بإيقاف سياراتنا. والسؤال
هي اعتداءات متواصلة، يعني نتمنى السلامة لكم ويعني يعطيكم العافية على المجهود التي تقومون فيه. إذا يعني هذه هي الصورة بما يخص الإصابات والاعتداء على الطواقم الطبية والصحفية. أيضا أريد أن أنوه سريعا إلى أنه اليوم أيضا قامت الشرطة الإسرائيلية بتركيب كاميرات على بوابات المسجد الأقصى المبارك وحملة اعتقالات واسعة قد شملت مناطق مختلفة من القدس. هذه هي الصورة في القدس حتى اللحظة.
شكرا جزيلا لك مراسلتنا ليالي عيد، حدثتنا من حي الشيخ جراح في القدس المحتلة. تغطية متواصلة من تلفزيون فلسطين لكل التطورات. بعد قليل نشرة أخبار 6 نجمل فيها أبرز الأحداث.
قال الرئيس الفلسطيني محمود عباس في كلمة مسجلة أمام الجلسة الطارئة للبرلمان العربي حول الجرائم والانتهاكات المستمرة لدولة الاحتلال الإسرائيلي أن القدس العاصمة الأبدية ولا يمكن أن يكون لها بديلا، وبدونها لن يكون هناك سلام ولا أمن ولا استقرار ولا اتفاق.
Despite calls for a ceasefire, Israel said it still has more targets to hit and did overnight, destroying more of what it describes as an extensive tunnel network Hamas is using to fire rockets. Hamas is still launching rockets at Israeli cities, but fewer than before. And the group is no longer making good on promises to rain fire on northern Israel at the time and place of its choosing. Hamas's infrastructure and the homes of its leaders have taken a severe beating. So have the people in Gaza, poor and cut off. Israel doesn't allow them to leave Gaza, even when it's attacking. According to health officials, around 200 in Gaza have been killed so far, including more than 60 children. Many in Gaza are now taking refuge in UN-run schools. The UN Director of Operations here says this must end.
The population is terrified. They've started moving from their homes because they no longer feel safe. All I can say is, as a humanitarian, as a UN official, first of all, stop the war, stop the violence.
Amani Al-Shawarji, a teacher, went to a school when a bomb exploded by her house.
We left because our windows broken and fire entered our house.
She says the hopelessness in Gaza, often compared to a prison, makes her students angry and despondent.
They feel that there is no future. Why? When I say to them, learn, and learn to what? Learn to be what? If we died, there is no need for our education.
For some here, this is the goodnight ritual. 6-year-old Kinda tells her mother she's afraid she's going to die, that the house will be destroyed. Her mom, like any mother around the world, tries to calm her fears and tells her everything will be all right.
Oh, that's a heartbreaking image. Richard, are you all right? I see you're putting on your gas mask. Escalating tensions.
Yes, the gas mask is just starting to come in here. We are fine, but these situations do develop fairly quickly, so you want to be ready. But there have already been some injured taken away from here. There are ambulances stationed around, and this is the way the protests develop. They throw stones at the Israeli soldiers. When the Israelis feel it is too intense, they fire with either rubber bullets or tear gas, and if it escalates further, they fire with live ammunition. So some people do get killed at demonstrations like this. But this is the amount of anger we are now seeing in many parts of the Palestinian territories. People here are not all from Hamas. Many different Palestinian factions, but they have come together in a sign of unity to say they support the people in Gaza. Hoda?
All right, Richard Engelfor. Stay safe, Richard.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more.
এখন প্রাণমাময়ের সাথে আকর্ষণীয় সব